here's the thing. You need to get out of the environment that raised you, because if you never leave the place that shaped you into this exact version that you are now, you're never gonna discover who you truly are, because this whole time you've been surrounded by the people who have already defined you. When you leave and you go somewhere new, you get to completely reinvent yourself, and that's when you get to find out what sticks with you, what doesn't stick with you, how you want to be. You meet so many different personalities that you realize that there's so much more in this world. And I don't know why I feel like crying, you guys. I've just had so many emotions since coming home, because I've just realized a lot of things, and there's a lot of things that I have to let go, and I have to come to terms with letting go. I crave more. I crave a life where I'm constantly growing and developing, and I'm on this journey of just becoming the best person of myself that I could be. And everything will fall into place the more that you stay aligned with what it is that your heart desires and what it is that makes you feel the best. Growing up is so weird too. Like, think about all the people out, like, after high school, you're like, that's so weird, like, I only knew them in high school. Like, you can't judge somebody based off of what you knew. Oh my gosh, I figured it out. Fuck yeah, okay. How are we doing? Like, how are we really doing? Because if I'm being completely honest, like, I'm gonna say I'm not doing too hot. Like, I'm not. And I wanted to make this video because I think it's so important to know that your whole life isn't always going to be sunshine and rainbows, and you're gonna go through phases where life is really good, and you're also gonna go through phases where shit gets hard and stuff hurts. As much as I post my positive videos and I post all of these things that are like, life is beautiful, look at the bright side, be happy, that is so true. But I want you guys to know that that doesn't mean that there aren't hard times. Like, everyone goes through things. Everyone, I mean, truthfully, I wouldn't know how to be this positive if I haven't seen it on the other side, because there's always two sides to everything. There's always yin and yang, there's always positive, always negative. You can't have feminine without masculine. Like, everything is a duality. And, like, when I come home, I realize that there's still the same battles that my 6th grade self fought. There's still the same dilemmas that I grew up dealing with, and it's something that, like, I have to be able to look at it and I have to be able to acknowledge it and be like, okay, but this is no longer what I want in my reality, and so it's okay for me to move forward, and it's okay for me to leave that behind in order for me to go on. Let's backtrack. Let's start from the beginning. I decided to study abroad, and I really wanted to see the world. I knew that there was so much out there for me, waiting in store for me, but I was scared. I was so scared. I had never been outside the country before. That was a scary decision for me to make. Like, I remember I was crying before I left. I was like, I don't know if I can leave my family. I don't know if I can do this. And it was painful, but overcoming that pain led me to the best 3 months of my entire life. Like, I don't know who I would be if I never studied abroad and if I never experienced those 3 months of my life. But here's the catch, is when you do something like that, you grow in that amount of time equivalent to how much you would grow in probably like a year if you stayed like in the same environment. Because you're forced to adapt, you're forced to experience all of these things, and I traveled alone, and so I only had myself to rely on. And I've been home for a couple weeks now. It's hard. It is really hard to leave and go somewhere, and then you come home and you realize, like, holy shit, like, nothing has changed. And you almost feel stuck, because it's like, I love being here and I love everything that's here, and my people and my family and all of that. But there comes a point in your life where you have to live for you and only you. You cannot sell yourself short, and you cannot sell your life short because you're thinking about what's best for somebody else and not what's best for you. And that goes with family. Like, you cannot do what your family wants you to do. You have to do what you want to do in your own soul, because at the end of the day, we're all on our own journey, and we're all here to just live our lives. Like, your parents are their own person too. Your friends are their own person too. We're all on our own individual journeys, but the beautiful part is that we get to experience it all together, and we get to build those connections and those relationships. But something that I've really learned is, as you grow and as you transform and as you morph, you have to leave certain things behind. People, relationships, my old mindsets, the way I used to present myself, environments, and it feels weird. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like a fish out of the water a lot of the times, and I see the type of life I want for myself, and I see all that it is I want to do. There's so many things I want to do, and I've realized I'm the one person holding myself back because I'm not choosing to necessarily go after them in the way that I know I can and I should, because I'm letting my old ways and my old patterns kind of hold myself back. And that's the hardest part, is because we know what we have to let go, and we know that things aren't serving us, but we still want to keep them because we're so used to it, we're so familiar. It's like, if you get used to someone's company and then all of a sudden they're not there, like, that feels weird, like, to us, because we're not used to that. As you continue to grow and you continue to level up, you're going to meet people who start matching your new energy as you go up. So it's okay if you have to let go of old relationships. We're friends for just a year or 2 years, and that was a beautiful friendship, but that was all we needed during that time. And of course it hurts like hell to let those go, but that's what you have to do to move forward. Like, you can't let yourself stay stuck because you're waiting for other people to come with you, or you're waiting for the right moment, or you're waiting for, like, them to decide, if that makes sense. Like, don't take life so seriously. Like, there's really no need to take life so seriously. You only have one life. Like, you only have one life, so why aren't you going after everything that it is that you want in this one life? Like, stop trying to play it safe. Stop trying to live your life for other people, because this life is yours, and it's only yours. Like, you're the one who's living and experiencing all of this. Nobody else has your perception. Nobody else has your mind. Nobody else sees things the way that you see things. And so you can't sell yourself short. You gotta go out there and you gotta go after what it is that you want, because this world can be what you make out of it. That's the beautiful thing. It's limitless. It can be anything that you want it to be, but you have to be the one to make it happen. It's not just gonna land in your lap. You have to work out too. That does help, but you gotta work at it. You gotta get to know yourself and spend time by yourself to figure out what you have to do internally to get yourself somewhere externally. It's so important to know that it hurts when you grow. Like, think about when you're young. You have growing pains. Like, pain comes with growth, but that doesn't mean it should stop you from growing. It's like, it can feel really lonely when you feel yourself outgrowing your environment. You're not going to be understood. Not everybody has to understand the life you're living, or why you do the things you do, or why you act the way that you do. It's okay to be misunderstood. At the end of the day, when you rest your head on your pillow, all you ever have is yourself. And if you can make that a happy place to be, then you're always gonna be at a pretty good spot. Like, I was having a really rough morning this morning, and no part of me wanted to be home. I love my loved ones. I think family is everything, but there's a big part of me that just doesn't like being home. And so I'm never really home. Like, I pulled up to the beach, got myself my little journal and my book. We're gonna manifest some shit. When you want better for yourself, there's some people who aren't gonna understand it, and that's okay. But you have to be able to stand firmly in what it is that you want and not let anything get in your way from that. And if there's something robbing you of your happiness, there's no need to try and convince yourself why it has to stay. If it's not making you happy, let it go. Like, only in this life is too short to spend any of it not being happy. And that doesn't mean when you feel sad, you don't let yourself be sad. Like, this morning I bawled my eyes out. I did. I'm straight up. Straight up, I had a rough morning. I was upset. But that doesn't mean I'm not happy. You can be upset and you can be sad while still being happy. Duality. You can't have one without the other. So let yourself feel your emotions as you're growing and as you're transforming. Like, it might be uncomfortable. Think about a fucking, like, caterpillar, right? This little caterpillar is just going around, and then one day he's in a cocoon. He's in this dark cocoon, and he has no idea what the hell is going on. And sometimes life is like that. Like, there's been chapters in my life where I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why this is happening, but I'm just gonna trust in the universe that it's working things out for me. And it always works out. But back to caterpillar. So this caterpillar, it's in this cocoon, right? It's in this dark thing. It feels dark, it's alone, it doesn't know what's happening around it. And then one day it literally just blossoms into this butterfly. And this butterfly looks nothing like the caterpillar. Like, I'm sure the butterfly is probably like, what the hell? Like, what am I now? One day it's flying. One day it's flying, and it used to be on the ground eating. This is such a beautiful, this is an amazing analogy, wow. But you know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna understand when you're growing and when you're transforming and when you're morphing, and that's okay. You just have to trust it and follow it. But I just want to say, like, don't be afraid to get to know yourself. I think a lot of us are like almost afraid of ourselves, and there's really no, like, the more you get to know yourself, the more you fall in love with yourself. I actually love being alone. Like, I'm literally just here, posted up with my fat lunch and my healthy juice, and I'm at the beach and I'm watching people surf. Like, and I love that shit, because it's like, all you have is yourself, really. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just like, especially, like, I'm alone a lot of the time, and it doesn't mean I'm lonely. I prefer to be alone most of the time, but being able to be alone changes the way that you look at things, and it also gives you a different type of self-confidence, because you realize, like, I can handle all of this on my own. I can survive my hardest of days and my hardest of times, and you don't need to rely or depend on anybody else to really be there for you. And it doesn't mean you don't accept people to be there for you, but it's just so comforting to know that you can be by yourself and you can spend time alone and seriously get to know yourself. Like, I started hanging out with just myself, and I was like, damn, I'm pretty fucking cool. Like, when you appreciate your own presence, you won't let anybody else in your circle who doesn't appreciate your presence. Like, because you appreciate yours, so why would you spend time with somebody who doesn't appreciate yours? You know, like, oh, it completely revolutionizes the game. So yeah, don't be afraid to get to know yourself. It'd be really scary. Change is scary, but change is the only constant we have. Everything is always changing, so don't be so afraid of it, because it's actually the most beautiful thing. Like, I don't know who I was a year ago, to be honest. I look at her, I was going through my old Twitter yesterday, I was looking at my old tweets, and I was like, oh, I was like, this is so embarrassing, the things I was tweeting. Like, I was like, but you can see the growth from that, and you can look back at your old self and still, like, love and appreciate that chapter, but be able to be like, wow, look at how much I've changed since then. Like, people staring at me filming this, but I honestly give no fucks. Like, I give no fucks. But something that I learned in psychology is that our minds love what's familiar and hates what's unfamiliar. So the moment we start to change, our brains freak out, because it's like, what are you doing? That's why it's so hard for someone who's really happy or really sad all the time to just become happy, because their brain is literally used to them being sad. So as soon as they start feeling happy, they're like, wait a second, what are you doing? You're supposed to be sad. And it's the part that's so uncomfortable about growing, is that you have to be able to push against that and push against your mind and resist the temptation to fall back into your old patterns. And I think that's the hardest part, and that's something that, like, I even am still mastering and still trying to work on, because I know when I fall back to my old patterns and I see the life that I want, and it's like, I'm so close, but at the end of the day, like, I'm the one person holding myself back, and there's just no more of that. There's no more. Life is too short. You have to go after and do everything it is that you want to do. What's best for you. You're gonna piss off a lot of people who don't fit in that. Like, let's say you have a group of friends right now that just, like, aren't serving you, and they're living a type of lifestyle that you don't want to live. The moment you start to change, they're not going to understand it, and they might project it onto you, but you have to be okay with not being understood and just doing what it is that you want to do, and finding other people in your life that match the new vibration that you want to put out there and the new type of life that you want to put out there, because they'll come. It's literally law. It's universal law. Energy attracts energy. So the energy you put out, you're going to get back, and as you grow, you're going to meet people who are also growing with you and at the same level. You just have to be able to go after it. And if you're going through a chapter in your life where you feel yourself expanding and you feel yourself outgrowing certain things, don't try to resist it. Like, let everything flow naturally. Think about a flower. Like, you never see a flower resisting its growth. It just grows so effortlessly and so beautifully, and it's a slow process, but it never is trying to hurry up when it's going to bloom, and it never tries to stop itself from blooming. Way different if I chose to not push myself past my limits, and it could look way different if I chose to stay comfortable, if I took the easy option and I didn't force myself to do things that were like hard or scary. So it's like, you get to choose the life that you want to create. You truly do, but you have to be willing to go through the growing pains. Like, either way, life is going to hurt here and there, but would you rather have the pain of staying stuck where you are, or the pain of being uncomfortable to get yourself to where you want to be? So, with that being said, I think I'm gonna go. I started the day being really like kind of bummy and sad, and I didn't want to go home, and I still don't want to go home. But I think I'm going to, let's see, I literally think I'm just gonna go drive up along the coast and just tune out the world and just be with me, myself, and my thoughts. Because I am experiencing like some growing pains, and this is the part that people don't tell you about, and this is why like I want to have this channel, because this is what the behind the scenes is to real life. Like, not everything is always going to be sunshine and rainbows, but in order to have a rainbow you need to have some rain. Like, end of story. So like, this is how I am sometimes, like behind the scenes. I get emotional, and there's things that I go through that affect me, and but I still choose to grow from them and to learn from them. So I think I'm just gonna go drive up the coast and just play some music and think, maybe cry out whatever I have to cry out, and then be able to move on, because it's been a beautiful day. Like, even when something in your day happens that might bum you out, don't let it affect the whole day. You have a whole 24 hours in a day. An hour is an hour. A minute's a minute. A second is a second. Don't let them all affect each other. Let them be their own individual part, because you can still make a day so beautiful. So I think, look how pretty it is. Oh wait, I think I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drive up the coast and then get, like, I know where I'm going. I'm going up to Carp. There's a spot in Carp where there is a really good lookout, and I haven't been there in a while. And I know the sun is about to go. Well, it's actually really me. I want to watch the sunset. Can you even see? There's literally, it's all gray. It's all gray. I don't even think there is a sunset, but I really feel like driving. Gosh, I'm so excited. I get so excited too. Like, I hope you guys get excited to invite growth and change into your life, because it truly is so beautiful to evolve. I think that's literally what we come here in life to do. Like, our souls come here to learn and to grow, to expand and transform, and that's why you have to just take everything in life as a lesson and with a grain of salt, and not take things so seriously, and trust that everything that happens to you is for you. Even the hardest of things are for you. Like, I wouldn't take back any of my hardships that I've ever been through, because they led me to where I am today, and they've given me the mindset that I have today. Everything that I've gone through, I'm able to take my experiences and help other people. So it's like, I never get mad when something hard happens in my life. It's more of like, okay, how can I see this? I think there's dolphins. Oh my gosh, that's so special. Dolphins are literally my favorite sea animal. But anyways, oh my gosh, I got so distracted. I was on a roll. Growing pain. You have to take everything that happens to you and trust that it's happening for you. And it might not make sense at first, and like there's going to be hard things that like let's say breakups, for example. Like I've gone through a pretty heavy breakup before, and at the time it was really rough, but then I look back at it and I'm like, wow, I really needed that chapter of my life to propel me into who I am today. Like, and at the time it didn't feel good at all, but that was like a growing pain that I was experiencing that I didn't realize how beautiful it actually was. Like, you have to trust that the universe is going to give you the lessons when you need them, and it's also going to give you the blessings when you need them, but everything happens in divine timing, and that's all part of growing. And don't rush your journey or compare it to somebody else's journey, because they're all different. But okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. I feel like driving and tuning out the world, but I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope thank you for watching all of it. Like, it seriously means so much to me, and I feel like I'm just getting started, but there's so many things I want to do in this lifetime, and I'm going through growing pains too. But I really appreciate you for watching this video. I love you so much, more than you could know, and I just want to say thank you too for letting me have such a safe space where I can share all of my thoughts and be vulnerable. And you guys are always safe on here too. Any opinion goes, any thought goes. There's no right or wrong here. It's all just sharing and leveling up and growing. Okay, bye. Bye, 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 bye. It's been so rainy all day, and I've been writing in my journal and meditating in my car and everything, and the sun came out. Look at it. Wait, can you even tell? I feel like it doesn't know justice, but the sun is literally out. I love the sun. The sun is everywhere. Look at this bowl I just picked up. Oh, it looks so good. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. Holy shit. It's like, are you kidding me? And then the sunset is so gorgeous. Basically, it's gorgeous out, and I just ended up here spontaneously. Wait, let's take a bite. Oh my god. Oh my god. I found a secret spot in Carp. Holy shit. Holy shit. This is so good. Oh my god. Wow, okay, I need to turn this off and just appreciate this moment. Gotta go. Bye.